Okay, I've tried to wrap my head around this one 3 times today. I've made 2 videos and I didn't like them, and as they were uploading, I changed my mind. This is the third attempt, and I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible because the first one ran on 15 minutes, and I was like, I'm not posting this. This one's about, atheism versus religion, this whole, idea that we have to have one or the other. So let me see how I can put all my points in quickly. There seems to be a division among atheists and the religious, and I have a tolerance for both of them, and I understand both points of view because I've kind of been on both sides of the fence. Not that I've ever been an atheist or ever been really in a religion, but just that I've had intermoving thoughts of what God is, and I can understand how a person could have their view of what God is and not understand how an atheist could think. What happened is that this religion in schools thing has gotten taken too far. They're saying, we shouldn't be forced to pray, when really it's the idea that people should be allowed to pray, and it just gets twisted and turned. And this is what I think it is that the religious think that there's no way that a society can function properly without religion. And I've always thought, okay, that's bullshit. And then, but I changed my mind. Okay, and let me explain why. It's because the atheists will always say, well, religion's bullshit and it's holding us back from the future. And I always thought, well, that's true too. I was always against religion for that reason when I was younger, that there had been so many wars and so much lost over religion. And atheism is much more conducive to modern life. But that being said, the only reason that is true is because modern life is corrupted and wrong. And when I started to see that in life, when I was younger, and I looked around me and saw the crap that was going on, and thought, okay, where are we going as a society? It starts to make sense what the religious folks are saying about how you can't have a godless society and prosper. This is true, but the reason why the atheists will argue it's not true is because there's a line drawn between perceptions of how people see that, how people see where we're going as a society. Now, an atheist could say atheism is the way to progress as a society, to not have God holding us back from doing the things that we could do, and not have these old primitive ideas that keep us from moving forward as a society. But a person who is on the religious side tends to know that none of the things we're doing in society right now are important. They're all things that will come and go, and that the only things that we can really hold in our hearts are the things that are important, or I should say the only things that are important are the things we can hold in our hearts, and that help us progress as people, because we know he who dies with the most toys does not win. He's still dead. And so as a society, I think we're starting to get to this pinnacle where we're realizing that everything we thought that science had brought us, and that we thought, that the godlessness had brought us, society as a whole is realizing it has failed. It's not bringing us happiness. Because the whole idea of setting aside religion and allowing science to take over, which this is a modern perception, because of course science and religion were one and the same in the past, hundreds of years ago. But anyway, modern science being separated from religion allowed us to take our materialism to a whole new level. It allowed us to remove God from everything. They want to take God out of the classroom. They want to take God out of the workplace. And they want to, atheists even want to complain about nativity scenes in town because, my tax dollars pay for that. It makes a lot of people happy. It's not worth fighting people about their religions. You're not going to change a person's religion, nor is a religious person going to convert an atheist. These are all things that have to be discovered from within. And I think what's happening with the religious pushing a lot of the people is by saying, hey, I believe in this God and I believe in Jesus and you can only be saved this way, and it pushes people away and scares them. But if you just look at the world from a rational standpoint, not everyone is looking to bring God into the world, because not everyone has the same view of what God is. Some people just think God is everything. And that word got me corrupted for a long time. It got me scared off of wanting to even talk about anything religious at all, is because of that word God. Has so many connotations with it. And it's almost like a dirty word these days. So the universal mind, or whatever you want to call it, is awake and aware and present and watching us all. And it's not an eye in the sky. It's us watching ourselves. So while science did bring us all these things we thought it would, and while we fought to have science try to prove to us how nature really works and to try to disprove God by explaining the birth of the universe, it ended up proving more than it disproved in the end, because most of the mathematical equations like the golden mean and phi ratio and all these different geometric symbols and fractals that we see within everything just show us that there is something bigger. So let's keep an understanding that the atheists don't have to hate people because they use the word God. And people, who are into religion, please stop hating atheists, because you're not going to get them to understand by telling them they're going to hell. It just doesn't work. It never worked with me, and it never will. I don't believe in hell. But anyway, to each his own. And here we are once again. Separation keeps us separate. Namaste.